Hey guys, Jason here with the second episode of our new series, Races of Duel Masters. In this series, I'll go over the lore of each race released in the Duel Masters TCG. So far, I've covered the introductory races of the Light and Water civilizations, and today we're moving on to Darkness and Fire. As a quick reminder, I might spend more time talking about some races than others, and that's just because some had more source material. But that's enough intro from me, let's begin. Brainjackers are regarded as the lowest forms of life in the Darkness civilization. They have no measurable intelligence and tend to resemble spiders with a flabby abdominal cavity. Like parasite worms, they survive by manipulating the dead. A brainjacker will cling to the head of a dead creature, stick its legs into the brain, and gain control of the corpse's central nervous system, thus enabling them to control the body at will. Chimeras are a race of creatures created by the Dark Lord's bionic experiments. They are usually deformed and, as their name suggests, are a complex amalgam of many beings with wildlife as the base. They have no eyes and are unable to reproduce, but they will typically have defensive mechanisms such as fangs, poison, or protruding bones. Any special abilities they possess will vary from creature to creature, depending on its ancestry. Dark Lords make up the governing class of the Darkness civilization. As such, they control their territory's energy resources and cures for disease. Thus, they enjoy total power over the welfare of other Darkness races, and in return, they demand unconditional dedication and obedience. Dark Lords are practitioners of secret arts, most notably genetic engineering, which resulted in the creation of chimeras, death puppets, and demon commands. Their other abilities include life absorption, regeneration, and psychokinesis. The weapons they wield are metallic artifacts made up of condensed solidified darkness. While Dark Lords appear to resemble humans, what lies beneath their beautiful masks remains unknown. Rumors range from their faces being horribly disfigured as a result of their secret experiments, to the masks simply covering an unfathomable darkness. Demon commands are the most powerful warriors of the Darkness civilization. They were created by the Dark Lords using their most advanced secret technology, and demon commands have the ability to draw power from the corpses of their enemies. While they are extremely powerful, demon commands are not the leaders of their civilization and are instead viewed as high-ranking military generals. However, Tyrant Black Monarch, who leads the Darkness civilization, is part demon command, so some might say that the true nature of their origin is still a mystery. Ghosts are a race of creatures that exist as spirits in the Darkness civilization. Long ago, they abandoned their bodies in an attempt to gain eternal life. They were unsuccessful in their quest, and now appear as a translucent fog, forming a blurry image resembling their original form before death. Ghosts belong to the Dark Lords because their lives cannot be sustained without the Dark Lord's power. Driven by uncontrollable jealousy and an obsession to destroy those who possess flesh, ghosts enter the psyche of their enemies to terrorize them and drive them insane. Living Dead are the most populous race of the Darkness civilization. Long ago, their ancestors sought to attain immortality by infecting themselves with special strains of viruses. The attempts failed, and the living dead now lead tortured lives, driven mad by the constant torment of hunger, while contaminating those around them with their diseases. They have no eyes and never remove their masks. Their bodies are made up of mostly decomposed flesh, with protruding bones acting as armor to protect them from their enemies. Speaking of which, it is not unusual for injured enemies to be infected by the virus and turn into living dead themselves. Parasite worms are a race of giant worm and caterpillar-like creatures with enormous mouths. They are known for their voracious appetites and usually dispatch their enemies by eating them. However, many parasite worms will not fully swallow their prey and instead allow half of their fallen prey's body to protrude from their mouth, using it as a weapon and shield. That concludes the darkness portion of this video. Now, we can blaze towards the fireside. Armored dragons are the most powerful creatures in the Fire civilization. As their name suggests, they are covered in armor, and their knowledge of war and weaponry is unparalleled. Armored dragons are also an old race, which existed long before the ancient war. Although they understand other races' languages, they choose to communicate in their own ancient language as a matter of pride. As a race, they are highly intelligent and individualistic, with each one acting according to its own values and philosophy. One armored dragon may appear on the battlefield as a god to the Dragonoids, while another may absent himself from the rest of the world in order to meditate undisturbed among the ruins. Armored wyverns are a wild species captured and bred for fighting by the Dragonoids. They resemble winged dragons and come in many shapes and sizes. Once only found in the wild, armored wyverns are now rarely seen outside of captivity. They can now be found on farms where they are combat trained to fight, sometimes with a dragonoid on their back. They tend to be well trained and are a formidable military force. Loids are an advanced robot race which were created and commanded by humans long before the ancient war. They were once a great military force and could even combine together for increased firepower on the battlefield. Unfortunately, present-day technology provides no way to repair them, which has caused their numbers to decline. However, there exist stories of an ancient city where many self-restoring Loids live, practicing and preserving the lost knowledge of ancient war technology. If these are to be believed, all hope for the Loids is not lost. Dragonoids are the most populous race in the Fire civilization. They are muscular, bipedal, and slightly larger than humans, but are most recognizable for their lizard-like features. For Dragonoids, completing the mission is always the first priority, regardless of the danger to themselves or their comrades. They possess a vicious, merciless nature and can often assure victory by making volcanoes erupt. During wartime, they equip themselves with iron and gunpowder to turn themselves into living weapons. Dragonoids worship dragons and believe that the bravest, most skilled warriors will one day be reincarnated as such. Humans are a proud race within the Fire civilization. They enjoy flashy displays of might, respect chivalrous conduct, and value individual honor. Humans are engaged in various occupations, including armament, treasure hunting, and commanding Loids. Upon reaching adulthood, humans are outfitted in full armor. From that time on, it is considered a dishonorable act to remove one's armored mask in public. Despite the fact that they are inferior in number and in territory, humans are the Dragonoids' greatest enemy. In the event of war, they, like Dragonoids, are able to become living weapons too. Machine eaters are small humanoids with large heads. They stand at only a foot tall and are always found in groups. Machine eaters love to play and hate being restrained. With their high-pitched voices and non-stop chatter, they exude an optimistic and cheerful demeanor. Machine eaters are gifted with the highest engineering ability in the Fire civilization. In return for their cooperation with both humans and Dragonoids, they are allowed access to the discarded machinery. These scraps end up becoming housing, vehicles, weapons, and everyday items in the creative hands of machine eaters. Machine eaters have also been credited for the construction of some very notable weaponry, such as Spastic Missile, Crimson Hammer, and Apocalypse Vice. Perhaps most notably, though, they are also responsible for the creation of Xenoparts. Rock beasts are one of the wildlife races in the Fire civilization. They are made of living rock and survive by consuming magma. At birth, rock beast infants are raised in magma, and as adults, they move on to the surface of the earth. Slow-growing and long-lived, mature rock beasts can grow to the size of hills. They move slowly, supporting themselves on 4 hefty legs, and store a massive amount of magma energy in their powerful bodies. Members of the Dragonoid race are able to control adult rock beasts and use them as traveling fortresses. And that brings me to the end of the video. I was honestly very surprised by how much I enjoyed the lore in this episode. Is it me, or did the lore for these races just happen to be really cool? Anyway, like last time, be sure to let me know in the comments what your favorite race was from this episode. In the next episode, I'll be finishing off the races introduced in the beginner's block, i.e. sets 1 to 5. But that's all for now. As usual, thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.